Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, along with Tim Fitzgerald. Welcome back to the Big 12 Insiders, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a fantastic weekend for the Big 12. Look, last weekend, and some of you got upset with me, but you knew I was telling the truth. It was just a dud last weekend, just not many games. This weekend, that is not the case. That is absolutely not the case. We have a lot of good games, including one that, in my opinion, is the best game of the weekend. No, it's not Auburn at OU, and it's definitely not Illinois at Indiana. No, it is Texas Tech traveling to Utah. Big 12's got the national spotlight again early. A little too early, in my opinion, for Utah. 10 a.m. local time, but that place will be rocking. It's not going to matter. I am excited for this weekend. So we're going to break down all the games, and we're actually going to pick the games. I think we're going to start doing that on Thursday and keeping a running tab. I think that's fun. We're going to do it, but we're not experts. We're not giving you betting advice or anything like that, so I don't want you guys to think anything like that. All we're doing is picking the games and having some fun with it. So before we get started, remember to like, follow, subscribe, continue to get in the comments section. We just went over 5,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. That's because of you. That's all because of you guys, man. We're starting to move a little bit, so I appreciate it. Always hit that notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content is coming out. My man Fitz, how are you doing today?
Let me reiterate. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
If you bet based on my picks, you're a fool.
Yeah.
In fact, you might want to base your picks on my opposite of my picks. I don't have the discipline to do that myself. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah.
I stopped doing this, but this is going to be fun. I love this conference.
It's going to be fun, man. And that's the thing. There's people that got in the comments and actually asked to do this on Thursday. Said, hey, man, you all do game day on Thursday. Why don't you pick the games? I'm like, you know what? We might as well. So I think it's fun. So let's get into it, man. First off, we're doing them. I don't want to say necessarily in order of best to last, but we saved the best games for last. Let's just put it like that. So make sure you stick around to the end. First game up, you guys know I hate Friday football. I do not like Friday football. While I love chaos, I despise Friday football. Oklahoma State hosting Tulsa. No, I'm sorry. Oklahoma State's hosting Tulsa. Oklahoma State at home, favored by 11.5 as of right now. The over-under 55.5. Look, Oklahoma State, I don't want to say this is a put-up or shut-up game that they need to step back. But when you get beat 69-3, your coach basically is crying about a team buying rosters when their program literally came into prominence because a booster gave them an influx of cash. And he's taking pictures with the opposing team after you get beat 69-3 on his way to the locker room. I don't know what to say, Fitz.
Weird.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, you need to show up for this football game.
Look, this is a little personal advice. I will probably watch some of this game. I think we have a dinner engagement on Friday. You know why? Because there shouldn't be Friday night college football. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of tension, a lot of people at each other's throats. This game is not your solution. This game will further rise tensions in the entire world because this might be really frustrating to watch because neither team's very good.
Absolutely. Look, I'm biased. My dad was a high school football coach. That's why I love it so much. I think I'm going to check out some high school football. Plus, I live in the DFW, so I can pick from very good high school football games to go to. I'm sorry, people, don't be jealous. Either way, this game, look, I like Oklahoma State, but I think they're going to win. I don't think they cover. At 11.5, I think that's a lot. I think we'll see, but I'm going to pick Tulsa to cover in this game, Fitz. That's where I'm going with it. 55.5 scares me, but I'm going to take Tulsa to cover. I just don't trust Oklahoma State.
I'm with you. I think that's a big number for them. I think it's probably a pretty close game, but the better team will win, and almost everyone's better than Tulsa.
Yeah.
They're just not good right now.
Yeah, I just don't trust Oklahoma State. I could be wrong, but the last time I actually saw them play, Lord, they can't be 66 points worse than Oregon, but they actually looked like it. So, moving on. Now we're back to Saturday football. Now we're starting to cook a little bit here. North Carolina going to UCF Saturday night. Game is on Fox. Usually you wouldn't think this game would be on Fox, but it's Bill Belichick. But so I like it. UCF 7.5-point favor as of right now, over under 46.5. Look, I'm not sure how good either of these teams are. And this one's tough for me, Fitz. It's a little tough. But I'm going to say, first off, I'm going to pick North Carolina to win. I think they're going to cover. I think North Carolina is just going to win outright. I think they're going to win this football game. I'm just not convinced that UCF has the horses as of yet. Now, they can get there, and I think they will get there because I think they made the right hire. And you can see all that. Although Scott Frost said some weird stuff at Big 12 Media Day, yada, yada, yada. But I think he's kind of figured it out. He's settling back in. It's just going to take a couple years for him to get his guys back. So I like North Carolina in this football game.
When you see a line make it to 7.5, that jump from 6.5 to 7.5 isn't a point. It's enormous in the gambling public. That'd be an indication to me. Now, granted, I'm not sure where this number started, but that'd be an indication to me the early money was flowing in on the nights, and now they're trying to shift it back to balance it out. That's all Vegas wants. They want the money balanced because that 10% they pocket.
Yes.
That makes them a winner no matter what. I think North Carolina covers. I think UCF wins. So take that for what it's worth.
Gotcha.
I would bet the cover, but maybe not the outright.
Got it.
But I'm not going to be surprised if you're 100% right. And I'm not going to be surprised if UCF just runs away with this because I think Belichick is in way over his head.
I do too.
Way over his head. He has no idea. I'm not sure he's a great football coach. I think he might have hit the perfect player for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe Tom Brady doesn't work for another coach. I don't know, but that dude could just win games.
Yeah.
But the college game is so completely different on top of that.
Yep.
So I don't think this is going to work because I don't think he has the kind of depth of knowledge of the game that's required in college football.
Right.
Pro football is a little more straightforward. Everyone kind of does the same things within the same ballpark. College, nobody's running the triple option. And the pros, there's a lot of stuff you see in college football you just don't see in the pros.
Correct. A lot of people probably like the over under on this one. I would take the over 46.5. I'd go over on that because I'm not sure these defenses are going to be up to snuff there. So moving on. Now, here is an intriguing football game. West Virginia traveling to Kansas, 5 p.m. And again, these times I'm talking about are Central Time. 5 p.m. FS1. Look, West Virginia coming off a big emotional win. They've had some big emotional swings the last couple of weeks. Go to Ohio, who, again, we talked about. Ohio apparently is a lot better than what we gave them credit for. Lose. Come back home. West Virginia fans have actually they were upset on Saturday, but as the week went on, they've come to appreciate me saying they pulled themselves off the scrappy, which is good to see, and which they did. Come back, huge rivalry game, and end up winning the game in overtime, just basically pulling it from the jaws of defeat. And now they go on the road. How do they handle that? I don't know. Look, Kansas is coming off. The last time we saw them, they were giving up 600 yards to Missouri. Their offense just couldn't get over the hump to continue to keep clicking like it did in the first quarter. But I'll be honest, this line is 13.5. I like KU. I think KU blows them out. I think KU blows them out.
I think there's a big difference between Missouri and West Virginia.
Yep.
This game is in Lawrence.
Yep.
They're stoked about their mostly new stadium. They've had 2 big victories there against bad teams, but they also believe they're going to win big.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're right. I think this is going to be a more than 2 touchdown game.
Yep.
And going back to what I just said, the second you see this thing tick to 14.5 or even 14, it means the money's flowing in on Kansas.
Yeah.
And they're trying to slow it down. But I would bet Kansas to cover here. I think Jalen Daniels is going to have a heyday against this West Virginia team.
Yeah. And it's not that I think that Kansas is so much better of a football team than West Virginia, but it's the emotional swings that West Virginia has gone through the last couple of weeks. That's the reason I think Kansas, I think, is a better football team. I think they're probably anywhere between 10 and 14-point better football team. I do believe that. But I think this one might get out of hand just because of the emotional swings that West Virginia. Then you're going on the road. It'd be different if it was at home. Then I could, okay, but it's not. You're going on the road. I just like Kansas big in this one.
And despite what happened last week with Missouri, Kansas believes it's a good football team.
Yes, it does.
And that's half the battle. If you believe it, you can manifest it.
Right.
And I think Lance Leipold has done an incredible job selling that to his team, his program. And as they've grown, he sells it at a higher level, and I think he's been brilliant with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tricky game. This one, BYU going to East Carolina.
Yeah.
I've said this a couple of different times. These Power 4 teams, particularly Big 12 teams, going on the road and playing these Group of 5 or Group of 6, however you want to label it. And I guess it's Power 4 teams, excuse me, going on the road. So BYU going to East Carolina. I don't know, man. I mean, BYU minus 6.5, freshman quarterback, first road game. East Carolina is not horrible. We've seen them upset Power 4 teams in the past. So they're not going to be intimidated. I really, really like BYU's defense, though, Fitz. And defense is something that travels. Even if you got a young quarterback going through, what he's going to go through on the road, which he will. But I like BYU, but 6.5, over under is 49 and a half. I'm tending to want to go the over under, but I'm gonna take BYU here. I'm gonna take BYU to cover, Fitz.
I just think they're the better team, but you're right about everything about going on the road. This will be a huge game for East Carolina. I imagine this. I don't know. I imagine this game was on the books from the BYU independent days because this is exactly the kind of teams they were playing. BYU's football program has benefited tremendously from joining the Big 12. We saw that last year. I think they get this done.
Yeah, I do too. 6.5. I'm going to take look, I think it'll be close, maybe going into the fourth quarter and BYU breaks it open. But don't be surprised if East Carolina can't move the football on that defense. Don't be surprised if that happens. So, because BYU's defense is really good. Next up, it's early in the season, Fitz, to say this is put up or shut up. And I said that earlier about Oklahoma State, but for Colorado, it's put up or shut up. I'm over all the excuses, but here's the thing. And this is the thing about me. Well, first off, let me cover this. It's Wyoming, Colorado, 13.5. Colorado's favored by 13.5, over under 44.5. You see all the Colorado fans that have disappeared mostly. We've still got a couple that are around, but mostly they've disappeared. When they were telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. This is one of the more physical teams in the Big 12. I'm like, okay. So those same people, you can't find them. Having said all of that, the fans that are out there in the internet are making excuses for them. The one person who's not making excuses is Coach Brien. He's flat out saying, no, we just are getting our butt kicked. He's the one that is saying, no, that there's nothing for us to get better. We're getting our butt kicked. He said that the other day. I'm like, well, if he's not making excuses, why are you making excuses for him? I'm like, there's some things that you can criticize him on this season, Fitz, like that press conference after the first game. Horrible time management. He could have just come out and said that. Instead, he tried to explain it away. I'm like, you're wrong. Just say you're wrong and move on. Everybody would forgive you if you just say that. He didn't do it. How he handled the quarterback situation last week. It was despicable. He should have you should have benched Ryan Staub. He wasn't playing well. We all saw it. You didn't do it. Well, now he's going back to Caden Salter, which is exactly what he should have done in Houston. And he needs to stay with Salter for the remainder of the year. Just, this is what you wanted. Bring him in. Let the kid play. Okay. But now it's put up or shut up time, because Wyoming's going to be a physical football team. They're not as talented as Colorado. They're not. But you need to be, just at least for your psyche, stop somebody from running the football and not let your quarterback get sacked a million times and be able to run the football just for your psyche. Can we see some physicality? Because if we can't see it against Wyoming, we're not going to see it against any other Big 12 team, and you're not going to win more than one or two more games if you can't do it, Fitz. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and say they cover 13.5. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I know that was a long rant, and I apologize, but I think it needed to be said about Colorado. It's time. It's just time, or I don't want to hear it anymore.
I'm with you. Colorado's a 2-touchdown favorite against a team that has a history of going out and beating people. I'm picking Wyoming on the spread, not outright. I think this will be a really close game. Nice nighttime game we've got. It's our Big 12 after dark, but I can't pick Colorado to beat someone by 2 touchdowns right now.
It's tough. It's tough. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put myself out on a limb. I'm going to do it. But I just, again, the physicality, we got to start seeing some. We got to start seeing it, because if we don't, you're not going to win any football games. I mean, you saw that last week. If people think that Houston is a mid-tier Big 12 team, and they probably are, they physically manhandled you. So, and that's what we're talking about. Mid-level teams just lining up and saying, we're going to run right over you, and we're going to not let you run the football. That's what happened. So what happens when you play some of the better teams in the Big 12? You going to beat them? No. So we got to start seeing it. Now we get to, Fitz, the best games of the weekend.
There's some good ones.
I saved these for last for a reason, because I think these are the best games that the Big 12 are putting on this weekend. And we're doing it in order, in my opinion, in order. So from I guess these are the best games, but I'm saving the best game for last. Let me put that out there. So first off, we got SMU at TCU, 11 a.m. I love it. It's early. Here's a fun fact, Fitz. First off, this series, why they're not going to play anymore. This is the last game in the series. Supposedly, now maybe this is true, that TCU is the one that's ending the series. I don't know. But they have played, 103 times since 1915. And they have not played each other where they're both ranked, and they're still not ranked. Both teams still aren't ranked. But they haven't played as ranked opponents since 1935. That is incredible to me. I'm like, hold on. Now, these teams have been good. Now, granted, SMU took a 35-year hiatus from being good, but they've been good. And 1935? Wow. And it'd be one thing if you played every 10 years or something. Okay, we get it. No, 103 times, haven't been ranked, playing each other since 1935. That's incredible to me. Just a fun fact.
And I remember that season well.
So TCU is a 6.5-point favorite at home. So they're giving up a 6.5. The over-under on this one, first of all, I'm taking it. 64.5, I'm taking it. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking it. But I'm going to pick the game as well.
Well, when you say you're taking it, you're taking the over or the under?
Oh, I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm going over. Hell, I think they'll have 50 points by the half. So
Right.
I'm absolutely taking the over on this thing. Look, TCU gave up 400, almost 500 yards to Abilene Christian last week. Now, granted, some of it might have been against the 2s and 3s, but all of it wasn't. So that's who I'm taking the over. But in this game, I think SMU covers. I think TCU wins 6.5. I think TCU or SMU is probably a little better than what people believe they are. I know the game is in TCU. It's going to be a crazy crowd. It's going to be a really good atmosphere. But give me SMU to cover, but TCU to win.
Like it. First of all, my favorite stadium in the Big 12. They did an incredible job with TCU Stadium.
Did.
I think the Frogs are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've got a different hand signal, but I'm going with this one. Frogs. I don't know what that is. It just gets me leaping. I'm not sure. I think they cover. I think it goes over. I think this game's wild. And I think these two teams hate each other. I think someone on the SMU sideline will get hit by a battery or maybe a coin. They never throw the dollars. Throw something that I can pick up and spend. But this game is going to be, these teams are going to go at each other. It's because they hate each other.
Yeah.
Play this game every year. I don't know what you're doing, TCU. I know that would mean two, now that they're in the ACC, it'd mean 2 Power 4 opponents probably, but you need to play your rivals. You just need to do it. Stop ending series that the fans absolutely love to play games we don't care about.
Correct.
Please, you're a product for sale. Sell your best side of you.
And it just makes even more sense, Fitz. And I'll get off this, but we mentioned this before. Just from a financial standpoint, you don't have to stay in a hotel. You don't have to charter a plane. You don't even have to get a hotel. Like you just go. You just go to the game. It's just, that's it. I mean, 35, 40-minute bus ride, and you come back. No hotels, no plane rides. I just, to me, and it's a Power 4 game. A lot of people are going to be there. I don't understand it. Good for your fans as well, so they can travel to go to the game. You know, you don't have to worry about, well, maybe people will fly out, maybe they won't. They can just drive. I don't know. Seems weird to me, but that's, I don't know. We'll move on. Arizona State going to Baylor. Look, I have not been impressed with Arizona State at all this year. I have not been impressed with them. I dinged them in the power rankings when they lost to Mississippi State. I didn't really get a lot of pushback from Sun Devil fans either, Fitz. I did. Now, other people kind of pushed back, but Sun Devil fans really didn't push back on that.
No.
Baylor, I thought they got embarrassed the first week. Maybe Auburn's good. I know the SEC ranked them. Excuse me. The AP poll ranked them, not the SEC. I apologize. Either way. Yeah. I know they ranked them, Auburn, but you gave up 300 yards rushing. Then you go to SMU the next week. You give up 45. You win. Don't get me wrong. You pulled out a win, but you give up 45 points. And it's just like, okay. So we're going to see this week. We're going to see something happen this week. Arizona State, Baylor is 2.5-point favorite at home, which 2.5, this is basically a pick'em game, Fitz. Everybody gets 3 at home. That's the running thing. You get 3 points at home. Well, they didn't even give Baylor 3 points at home. It's tough for me. 60.5 is the over-under. But you know what? Physicality wins. And Arizona State, even without Scattaboo, has appeared to be the more physical football team because they can run the football. Now, I think it's a product of teams saying, well, we're not going to let you throw it, so we're going to make you run it. But Arizona State has taken that, and they've done it. I think they do it again. Baylor's offense is incredible, but how do you stop a good offense? You keep the ball away from them. And I think Arizona State's going to go on the road and do that. Give me the Sun Devils outright in this one, Fitz.
Interesting. I don't know how to pick this game. I don't understand either team. This would be literally one I wouldn't touch.
Right.
And the spread basically tells you that.
Yeah.
Unless you know something, behind the scenes, don't touch this game. It's a toss-up. I will go with Baylor based on this one thing. And I love your point about the defenses. They're giving up too much. But Arizona State losing at Mississippi State is a sign that this team might have trouble on the road.
Yeah.
That's a game you got to win.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm mad that they lost. It made the Big 12 look horrific.
It did.
So I'm going to go with Baylor just based on that, just based on the fact that I'm mad at you, Kitty Dillingham. How'd you do that to us, man? Why?
Yeah, that was a tough one. This game's be on Fox too. Look, Big 12 is getting a lot of exposure.
Isn't it amazing?
This weekend, man. They're getting a ton of exposure this weekend, Fitz. I love it. I love every single bit of it. Get us out there, give us that exposure, and then go play some good football. It's up to us to go out there and play some good football. So I think we're going to see that this weekend. Then last but not least, like I mentioned, biggest game of the entire weekend, in my opinion. Texas Tech traveling to Utah, two ranked teams playing against each other, 11 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. local time, which I think is just ridiculous, but I don't think it's going to matter anyway. There was somebody in the comments section of a previous video that said, well, they won't be able to tailgate, but they'll be there for the kickoff. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. This is Utah.
I'm going to the same place.
Yeah, they're look, the game could be at 5 a.m. People are going to find a way to tailgate 3 or 4 hours before the football game. So I wouldn't worry about the kickoff being early to stop tailgating. They're going to do it. And that place is going to be rocking. Look, this is a tough game to pick. Neither team has been tested at all. You thought that, well, maybe Utah would have been tested because of UCLA, but turns out UCLA is absolute garbage. I've already fired their coach. 3 weeks in, they fired their coach. Oregon State, I don't think they were worse than UCLA, but they weren't any good either. So I don't know. And that's who Texas Tech supposedly had a tune-up with. But that was after you go out and you start the game, then you go sit in the locker room for 2.5 hours, and then you go play. They literally played 2.5 minutes. Texas Tech did last week. Go sit in the locker room for 2.5 hours and then come back for Lightning. So it's crazy. 3.5, Utah's favorite at home. Over under 57.5. I'm going to let you go first on this one, Fitz.
Yeah, we still don't know who these teams are. These might be the best two teams in the conference. That wouldn't surprise me at this point. I like Utah at home. I like them, although it's crossed that Rubicon of being 3.5. Apparently others like Utah. But I think Tech might be really good. I'm rooting for a well-played game.
Yes.
The Big 12 needs this game to be on display. Really good, really competitive, and close. Because these might be the best teams of the conference. This might be the Big 12's best shot. There's other teams that still fit this. But this might be the two teams that could get two teams into the playoff.
Right.
Because let's say one beats the other, and then the Big 12 championship, the other one wins the game. I think it says a lot how balanced they are, and you got to probably include them both.
Right.
But I want to get back to your original and what I feel to be the most important point. Utah fans, I don't need to remind you of this, but smoked meats are a breakfast food, particularly sausage. So, you tailgate however you want and you get after it. But we've got a thing in Manhattan, Kansas called the Nancy. And it is pineapple juice in whatever cheap beer. The current one is Busch Light. I think it's hideous, but it's incredibly popular. And now almost every bar does it, not just the original one. You can also do this with orange juice.
Ooh.
And that sounds absolutely repulsive to me. The only thing I want to put in my beer is a lime in my face. Yeah. That's it. But try a little screwdriver action with beer, or just go with the screwdrivers, which I would do. But smoked meats are a breakfast food. They always have been. And big egg has lied to you.
Yeah.
They want to scare you off. So you eat the not born yet chickens instead of the actual chickens. That was a rant that went somewhere I didn't expect it to. I'm shutting up now.
Oh goodness. The look, as far as the game is concerned, it's tough for me. And I'm going to talk about this. Obviously, I mean, I can give it away. It's the game of the week that we'll have tomorrow. But for this, I'm intrigued because I think it's the best offensive line in the country. I think Utah has the best offensive line in the country. And there is so much talk about this Texas Tech D-line. I want to see it. Now, granted, neither of them have been tested this year, but we're going to see it. And getting back to your point as far as a good game, like a good game to me isn't 48-45. While it's competitive, that's not a good college football game, for both teams to just go up and down the field and nobody can stop each other. I'm like, well, where's the defense? So, 28-23, something like that. That's what I want to see as far as a competitive game. I want to see defenses get stops. I want to see teams, make some big plays, but I want to see all of that. To me, somebody scoring 48 points, like, where's the defense? So while I do want to see a competitive game, I don't want to see it be a shootout. I don't want that, because to me, that's not good for the Big 12, being a shootout. While it might be competitive and it may be super entertaining, it's not necessarily the best product. And that's what I'm interested in these two teams. But if I have to pick one, man, I put a ton of thought into this. I think I'm going Utah to cover. I think I'm going Utah, and I think I'm taking exactly what I said. I think I'm taking, if I had to give a score, 28-23, I think that's what I'm doing. I like Utah at home. I'm just going to give them that advantage. I'm going to give them that advantage. Because, and again, neither team has been tested at all. Not at all. But I think it's going to be a hell of a football game. I think it's going to be a good showing for both. And maybe this is where people start to say that, okay, Utah's back. It's just one game. It's just one football game. So it may not mean a lot as far as the entire season. But then again, it could mean a lot for the entire season. You just don't know. It's college football players, man. It's a lot goes on there, Fitz. So, well, that's what I got. That's what I got for this week. Big 12. Oh, go ahead, Fitz.
One further thought. We do a thing in one of our stories called the odds indicated score, which is using the spread and the over-under. This game would be quite literally 31-28 Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider that an overly high-scoring game.
No.
So, you might have convinced me that the over's in play here, because I can see this thing getting wacky. But then again, we don't know everything about these teams. Maybe their defenses are really good. Utah has a great offensive line. Maybe that takes some of the air out of it. We'll see. I am so fired up for 11 a.m. Having an off week from the team you cover, and you can just sit down and watch football.
Mm-hmm.
This is why beat writers or people that cover one team specifically should not be voting in polls. We watch less football than almost anyone else. Now I get to just sit there and watch some great games starting at 11 a.m. with two games that I want to see.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun weekend for the Big 12. A lot of things, a lot of prove it type of stuff. A lot of, hey, let's see what you got. Let's see what you have. We're starting to get into that portion of the season, and I am super excited for it. I appreciate all the support out there. Thank you guys again. Tomorrow, game of the week will come out. I'll break down the ins and outs and what I think the keys to victory for both teams are going to be. So I appreciate it, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.